So McKinsey calls this productivity imperative, doing more with less, adapting tech faster. Sport often treats innovation like a new fad, an attacking pattern. Test it, refine it, then integrate it. How do you help companies adopt new tools or financial systems without overwhelming?
Yeah, that's a good one because financial changes that tend to happen at quite a senior level, and there's an awful lot of risk associated with them, depending on what you're trying to do. So, I touched on the individual salesperson introducing, sales aid financing, a financing option to help them sell more product. It's not debatable as to whether it helps or not, but you still have these debates with people. It's um, and you kind of just need to take it back to the real world, like you're buying a car. Not a lot of people have, 30 grand or whatever just to pay for their new car. They tend, more often than not to finance it. Your mortgage, that's the financing to help
Hmm.
you acquire your mobile phone, whatever it may be. It's not a new concept. But for some reason, introducing these things into the business world is, is scary for some. Um, in a business I worked in, where we were, purchasing invoices, providing working capital solutions. So we were buying invoices, allowing that customer to pay us back later. So extending the window for them to make payment, and we were paying the manufacturer on the original due date. So they got their money when they needed to. That was being done on an Excel spreadsheet, which is kind of okay, kind of for the company I was doing it for, but for the client, I mean, that's just archaic kind of stuff. They would need to call up and say, well, that invoice that you extended for me, when do I need to pay you back for that? They didn't have a notification. They didn't have
Hmm.
any way of, in their systems, unless they were tracking it manually themselves, as to when they would need to pay it back. And for a finance company, you think to yourself, what? You know, you're not even tracking your payments. If you don't get paid, you don't make any money. That's the risk and reward bit,
Yeah.
right? Um, so reasonably simple fix. We kind of introduced digitalization of the documentation, automatically generated agreement numbers, payment dates, and schedules that were exchanged with the clients, and that were managed internally. Um, so there can be a whole raft of changes in digitalization. I mean, everybody's gone crazy with AI, and it's going to take over the world, and everyone's, and it is great. AI is brilliant for productivity, for freeing up time hours and things like this. Um, but it's not going to, you're still going to have a customer. You're still going to have someone who's providing value for that customer. And there's lots of tools and things, depending on where you are in the original scale, that can help you be more productive, and just, digitalize things, like the example that I gave. That w- was a big game changer. Was it AI? No, it wasn't AI, but it was just some tech that was introduced.
Hmm.
And step by step, I'm not a big fan of these big, tech, you know, changes and launches and new systems, and, a big launch, and these kind of things. It's just a recipe for disaster.